Another day of protests happening right now in New York City. The mayor extending the city's curfew for the rest of the week. MSNBC anchor Katie Tur joining me now. And Katie, you have been walking with protesters in Manhattan all day today. What is it like there right now?
6 miles.
It is a peaceful protest so far. There are many thousands of people, tens of thousands of people here. And Allison, we just walked by an amazing sight. The doctors and nurses and healthcare workers at Memorial Sloan Kettering, the cancer hospital just down the road here, were cheering on the protesters. Many of the doctors, many of the nurses taking a knee to show support for what they are doing here. And I'm just going to remind everyone, we are in the middle of a pandemic, and this is a massive protest with thousands of people who are not social distancing, but the vast majority of people here are wearing a mask. And there are stations all around where volunteers are handing out water, they are handing out food, but they're also offering squirts of hand sanitizer. And they're offering gloves, and they are offering masks, which is just a remarkable thing when you are in the middle of a protest that has been marching along the streets of New York City for, I think, what time is it? It's 5-something, going on 4 hours. Yes, you said there's a protest here there's a curfew in effect at 8 p.m. That curfew goes through Sunday, 8 p.m. every night through Sunday, in order for the NYPD in the city to try and get a handle on what is happening in the nighttime hours here in the city. Governor Cuomo today, Allison, was very frank. He said he did not think the NYPD was doing a good job. He said he did not think the mayor was doing a good job. He openly mused about his authority to remove the city's mayor, then just left it at that. He also once again offered the National Guard. The NYPD has said they do not need the National Guard. So far, there is no word on deploying them here in the city. And the NYPD and the mayor both say that they are doing a good job, that they can keep this city safe, that looting will not be tolerated. We saw looting on Fifth Avenue, stores smashed last night. We saw it in Soho the night before. The Bronx got hit badly last night. There were 700 arrests. They're preparing for what might happen tonight. They expect there to be some issues. They're making a distinction, and this is really important. The NYPD is saying that the people you're seeing walking here are largely peaceful. And they've become increasingly peaceful as the days have worn on. And I will tell you, I've seen confrontations where I've seen protesters going at the cops vocally, but I've seen no physical confrontations between police officers and any of the protesters. In fact, we don't see that many officers marching, although you can presume that there are a lot of plainclothes cops around and potentially some undercovers. But they're making a distinction between these people that are walking here and the ones that are committing acts of physical violence on storefronts at night. They're calling those outside agitators, organized agitators, anarchists who are planning on trying to be one step ahead of the cops every night, to go and cause chaos along brand name, high-end chain stores. The police want to be clear. Those people are not part of the protests that they are seeing here. One other thing. These protesters want change, and they're tired of the status quo. They don't think enough has been done. And we talk about that in general terms, but let's get specific, because there are some specific things on the minds of protesters here, and it's 3 things in particular. One is repealing something called 50A. It is a rule that allows the disciplinary records of police officers to remain out of the public's view. They want that repealed so that the public has an idea of what an individual police officer's record is like if that police officer has a complaint filed against him, or if something happens with that police officer. The New York City Council is sending a recommendation to Albany, to Governor Cuomo about that. Governor Cuomo has said openly on my air that he thinks it's something that should be repealed, so he supports that. The New York City Council, according to sources, tell me that they want to outlaw chokeholds, and not just a neck in the crook of somebody's elbow, but outlaw any act that would impair the breathing, the ability for a person to breathe. So that would include a knee on the neck. And the third thing that protesters here are calling for is defunding the police. Now, that's not going to happen. The city council said it's going to be really hard to even cut away at all with the NYPD budget. But it's a $6 billion budget. They want to be able to go in and take a scalpel and make cuts where they can, because youth programs are getting defunded in the next budget. They want areas of this city, they want education to be bolstered. They want more opportunity, and they say that money can be better spent. But it's going to be difficult because the NYPD has a lot of federal dollars, because this is a police force that's not just tasked with protecting this city, it's a police force that has an anti-terror wing. So they're asking for a lot, but they are concrete things that can change within the system that they say will better address the problems that many people have experienced with law enforcement in this city over decades.
Katie, those protesters demanding real, tangible change. Also, as you said, something you don't often see at a protest, maintaining hand hygiene. This is a protest in 2020 in the midst of a pandemic. Katie Tur in New York, thank you so much.
Thank you, Allison.